channel. Today we are trying out a brand new foundation and primer combo because you know every time that you walk into Ulta, whether it's live or you're online, you feel like I'm just gonna look, and it just never turns out to be that way. I picked up a couple new products for face, for lips, for eyes. So there's a whole new batch of content. I have a whole lot of new makeup, new releases, some kind of new releases, and I'm just gonna, you know, try it on with you and see how I feel about it. So today's primer and foundation combo are from Makeup Revolution. I will be trying out the Conceal and Hydrate Radiant Foundation because for dry sensitive skin, radiant anything is always great. And I'm gonna be pairing it with the Pore Blur Primer. So I feel like these two have great potential, but let's put them to the test. So if you're interested in watching this video and seeing my thoughts on this skin, make sure to keep on watching. All right guys, so today we are trying out two new products right here, primer and foundation. So this one is the Pore Blur because you know we always want to be smooth. And we are also trying out the new Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation. So this was a struggle to kind of find my shade because when I did, I got F3 and I felt like once I put it on, it got a lot darker. We went with F1. This could work, or this could not work. So today we already did the eyes. I will link the tutorial to this eyeshadow look in the description box, but we are gonna go in with our primer. We are hoping, so I do like that it does have a squeezy tube. It has like a peach tone. So the primer has a little bit of, I wouldn't say it's super smooth, like there's like a little bit of I don't know what in there. It doesn't come out super smooth, it just, I don't know how to explain it, like it has a little bit of bubbles. It's not super smooth, it has like a little bit of texture in there, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. We're gonna go ahead and put it on our face like I usually do, on my forehead. I just shaved my face yesterday, so I feel real smooth, and we should look pretty flawless. So once you apply it onto the skin, it does feel nice and smooth. I didn't apply any oils today, so hopefully this primer does it all. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm super dry, but I always put like some kind of oil just to make sure that it works out. All right, so for the big reveal, is F1 going to match? I don't know, like when you go to the store, I do like that it has a pump. When you go to the store, it's so hard. Like I feel like this works out, but then I was like, no, F1 is gonna be too light. I have to get something darker, and it might be too light. Too late to apologize. So I was very intrigued when I saw this foundation because it said radiant, hydrating, and all of that good stuff that I want. Oh no, got foundation on my hair. Let's go ahead and dive into the blend and find out if F1 is indeed too light for us. Perhaps. I think, I'm not sure, but when I tried out the other shades, I think I got a darker shade, but it oxidized as I was walking around the store. So tip, if you go to Ulta or Sephora or any place where you can put the foundation in your hand, walk around the store for a little bit and let the foundation dry just so that you can know if it's going to oxidize or not, because sometimes we feel like we got our match and then you get home and you let it sit on your arm or whatever, and suddenly it turns like 2 shades darker. So this might be the case with this foundation. I don't know. I hope, because I returned it. Alright, so the foundation color, maybe I could have done a F2. These are very confusing when it comes to like picking shades because it's either a neutral lighter tone or a super pink, and then the next one, F3, was drying really dark, and so I was kind of forced to go with F1. I feel like on camera it looks really white, but in real life it doesn't look that bad, you know. We're gonna make it work. All right, so we're gonna go in with our concealer. So lately I've been really liking this concealer for my everyday wear because it has good coverage, it's not over drying, and I don't have to worry too much about it creasing throughout the day. If you haven't checked it out, do so. So I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the foundation has been sitting on my skin a little bit, and I feel like it has gotten a little bit darker. So definitely the concealer is going to balance it out, but I feel like this shade is not that bad. So I know that I look crazy, but it's really not that white. So the foundation has been sitting on my face a little while, and you can see that it has kind of changed color. I feel like the monitor is not reflecting the actual color, but I feel like it has toned down. Like the whiteness that we started with is not the shade right now. I feel like it matches a little bit better. I feel like this foundation does oxidize, so maybe try a shade up. So I definitely feel that with powder and leaving the foundation to sit a little while, it's definitely a little bit darker than the shade that we started with.
It's delicious.
So far, I feel like everything is working out beautifully. I don't feel like I have patchiness anywhere. I want to keep my skin fresh, and I want to add like a gloss and a glow. So I'm going to go in with a couple of colors from 100 Karat Cosmetics. I'm going to go in with Selfie just to get that glossiness, Angel's Wing to get that pink gold reflect, and just a little bit of pink champagne just to bounce off the eyes. I know that this may seem like a lot, but it comes together in the end. So if you just wanted to stay with Selfie, it is a super amazing, just subtle glossy glow. I really like it, but I also love to foil my colors so that we can have more of like a 3D effect when we turn around. So this is Angel's Wing.
It's delicious.
And I'm going to keep that same fluffy brush and just lightly like go in with pink champagne, just so that we have that light. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with Angel's Wing just in the inner corner so that we can have that kind of metallic pink inner corner. And then I'm gonna go in with pink champagne. Alright guys, so that wraps up the look. Let's talk about this foundation and primer combo because it's been sitting on my face for about 2 hours now, and I kind of roughly have some thoughts. Alright, so let's start with the color selection. So like I said, when you're walking into the store, it can be a little bit tricky picking a foundation shade because of the lighting, and also because I feel a lot of people just put it on their hand and they're like, okay, this is my color, this is not my color, grab one and walk out the door. Sometimes I feel like the best thing to do is put the colors that you think might be your shade. So I always try to pick 3, a neutral, a warm, and then like a rosy tone to see if I walk around around the store if they're going to oxidize, if they're going to stay the same, if I like the consistency, or it's just not gonna work. So for this one, I got a shade darker. I actually went with F3 because I feel like I was in a rush and I was trying to pick out other products, so I was just like, well, this one looks good. And then I got home and I put it on my hand again because every time we come home and we have new stuff, we have to put it on our arm again. You know, it's just like, it's a given. So I put it on my arm again and I noticed that it was super duper dark. I could not get away with that darkness, so I was like, you know what, we need to return it. I kind of struggled between a rosy tone and a neutral tone, and I decided to go with F1. So in the video you saw that when I first applied this shade, it was super duper white, but as I let it sit, it kind of adjusted to the tone that I actually needed. And of course with bronzer and powder, it just kind of worked out. So I feel like F1 seemed very light, but in the end, I feel like it works. And this is me with a tan, so you can imagine me with no tan. So I feel like this shade is gonna work for me. Also, I do like the pump idea. I know the other one had a doe foot applicator. I kind of like both. It doesn't matter to me, but it is a nice option. I know a lot of people kind of want the pump, and this was actually one pump of foundation. I feel like it covered up everything pretty nicely. I do think that it will layer nicely as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the blur primer. So the blur primer was kind of weird coming out of the squeezy tube. It felt like it might have like a little bit of, I don't know, like it looked like it had like tiny little rocks, like it wasn't a finely milled kind of consistency. But once you put it on your fingers and you start working into the skin, it does not feel like there's little anything. It goes on smooth, and I feel like it worked out with this foundation, and I can't wait to try this with other foundations or just in my regular normal routine. So let me go ahead and bring you in so that you can get a look at the skin. So would I recommend for you to try these products? I feel like they are showing a lot of potential. Now, I have not worn them for 20 hours or out in the sun or like, you know, to a party, so I can't really say anything about that yet, but I feel like overall it's really looking good. It's looking and feeling like my regular great foundations. So I didn't have a problem with the blush or the bronzer going on to this foundation combo, so I really have high hopes. I will continue to try this and see if I do a wear test so that I can tell you guys if it actually is worth the money. If you're stocking up your kit or you want it personally and you know that this foundation is gonna last. So I'll definitely make it a point to let you guys know the update if this is worth investing in for your kit or for an event, but right now it looks pretty great, pretty promising. So we have tons of new content coming your way. Make sure to follow me on all my social media so that you can vote for the content that you want to see in my channel. If you want certain color combos or more makeup reviews, definitely make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook so that you can let me know your feedback. Also, since you're here, make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.